Hello, hello. We are back with Chapter 10, Probability, focusing on Lesson 4, Theoretical Probability. Now, the theoretical probability of an event is found by comparing the number of ways an event can occur to the total number of equally likely outcomes. So here we have theoretical probability. That is the number of ways the event can occur over the total number of equally likely outcomes. So let's look at how a problem like that might look for theoretical probability. So here we go. One of the games at a carnival, one of the games at a carnival, a carnival, is the wheel of letters. Find the probability that the wheel will stop on each letter. Write your answer as a fraction, as a decimal, and as a percent. So let's look at number one. It says the spinner has how many equal sections? Each section is an equally likely outcome. So we just need to figure out how many sections there are. So I'm going to start here at C and go this way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has 10 equal sections. Number two, there is how many sections marked A? Okay, so let's look at it. Looking around, there's 1A, and that's it. So there's 1A. There are how many sections marked B? Let's go and look. There's 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 sections marked B. And then how many sections are marked C? 1, 2, 3, 4. And lastly, there are how many sections marked D? Well, there's 1, 2. Okay, perfect. So what we need to do is we need to find the probability of picking a B. So the probability of picking a B is basically the number of ways that event can occur. So how many B's are there? There are 3. So it's going to be 3 over the total number of sections or outcomes, and there's 10. So it's going to be 3 over 10. All right? Now remember, we have to write our answer as a fraction, as a decimal, and as a percent. So the probability is 3/10, which as a decimal is the same thing as 3/10, right? And then if we take that decimal place and move it over twice, I'm going to take it over here to the side, move it over twice to convert it into a percentage and add the 0, that ends up being 30%. So there we have our fraction, decimal, and percent. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and try 7. So we're going to try the probability. P is for probability of picking an A. So the probability of picking an A, well, first we need to figure out, well, how many outcomes are there that we would get an A? And there's only 1. So it's going to be 1 over the total, which is 10. So 1/10 is the fraction. And we can write the decimal as 0.1 because this is 1/10, 1 in the tenths place. And then if we want to change this into a percentage, we can take this, I'm going to take it over here, 0.1, and move that decimal place over twice and put in the 0, and that is equal to 10%. So there we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and try 8. Actually, I want you to try 8 and 9 on your own. So where's my friend? Oh, here's the pause dragon, reminding you to pause your device. Go ahead and work out 8 and 9. And then come back and press play and they'll see how you did. All right, we're back. Let's see how you did. The probability of picking a C. So you're going to mark the amount of C's, and there are 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 over the total, which would be 10, is 4/10, which as a decimal would be 4/10, 4 in the tenths place. And then to convert that into a percentage, we are going to take this 0.4 and move that decimal place 2 places to the right, put the new decimal, put in a 0, and we end up with 40%. So if you got that one right, awesome job. And you have the fraction, decimal, and percentage. Okay, how about the probability of picking a D? Well, we need to know how many D's there are up here. There's 1, 2, right? So it's going to be 2 out of the total, which there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 tenths. Oh, you know what? Oh, no, never mind. Oh, okay, I need to go back a step, and we will go back a step in a second. Okay, so this is 2 tenths is the same thing as 2 tenths in the tenths place, right? 0.2, that's 2 tenths, which is, if we convert it to a percentage, we're going to write that over here, 2 tenths. We're going to move the decimal place over twice, right? And that's going to give us 20%. Now, there's one thing I forgot, and I'm so sorry. Right here, do you notice it? Maybe you caught it, or maybe you did it correctly. Right here, it's with the fraction, okay? The decimal and the percentage are completely right. Do you notice anything about this fraction? This fraction has a common factor in it, and we have to simplify this fraction. So that means that the fractional form for the probability of C, what goes into both of those? 2 goes into 4 2 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the probability of picking a C would be 2/5. So that would be the correct fraction in simplified form. What do you notice about this one over here? Yes, this one needs to be simplified as well. And I can't believe that we all miss things from time to time. But the biggest thing is that we find our where we went wrong or missed something, and we correct it and we learn from it. So here, it needs to be simplified. There's a 2 that goes into both of those. 2 goes into 2 1 time, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the probability of picking a D would equal 1/5. I think when I saw 4 tenths and 2 tenths, I just got really excited because I knew that I could convert it to a decimal really easily, because just putting it in the tenths place. And so I think I think that's what happened. Anyways, enough of that. But yeah, so those would be the correct fractions, right? But this is the correct decimal, and this is the correct percentage. This is the correct fraction, this is the correct decimal, and this is the correct percentage. So hopefully all that is cleared up. I'm sorry for any confusion, but let's keep moving on. Okay, let's look at the next problem. So there are 11 pennies. Oh man. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a penny party, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's get all these over. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, this is 8. I'm having a hard time picking these up. 9, 10, 11. Come on. Come on. All right, there we go. 11. So, could you guys see them out there? Oh, those are lovely little pennies. I spent a lot on this video. 11 cents. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 pennies and 9 dimes in a bag. 1, 2, oh, come on, 3, 4, 5. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, I know there's a faster way. There we go. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So they're in a bag. So we have 11 pennies and 9 dimes in a bag. Find the probability of each event. Write your answer as a fraction, decimal, and percent. So we need to do that again. Fraction, decimal, and percent. Okay, cool. So 10 says, find the probability that a dime will be randomly selected from a bag. So imagine there's a bag and they're all mixed up, right? And we're blindly choosing, and we're going to have our friend the dragon come and blindly choose one. What's the probability that we would select a dime? Well, the probability is found by taking the amount of dimes, which there are 9 of them, and putting that over the total number of coins in the bag. And here we have 11 pennies and 9 dimes. So you can just go 11 plus 9. And 9 plus 1 is 10. Write the 0, carry the 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So there's a total of 20. So 9 out of 20. That would be the amount. That would be the probability of picking a dime. Now we want to check and say if this is simplified. Is this simplified? I think it is. Nothing goes into 9 and 20. Okay, so we have that. Now we need to, what do we need to do? We need to convert this into a, whatchamacallit? Why am I having a hard time? A decimal and a percent. So the one thing I see about this is that we can actually put this to a percent, because I noticed that 20, it's really easy to turn 20 into 100. Do you guys remember how percentages are always out of 100, right? So if I take this off to the side and I go 9/20ths, and then I know that if I multiply this by 5, the bottom and the top by 5, I get 20 times 5, which is 100, and 9 times 5, which is 45. So 45/100ths is the same thing as, well, we can just do the decimal, right? 45/100ths is going to be 0.45. This is the tenths, this is the hundredths. That is the same thing as 45/100ths. And 45/100ths is the same thing as 45%. So boom, there we go. Okay, so that is in the fraction. This is in simplified form. This is the decimal, and this is the percent. So let's go back, and now we need to find the probability of picking a penny. So what is the probability of randomly picking a penny? Well, we're going to make a fraction, and what goes on top is the amount of pennies in this group, and there's 11 pennies, and that's going to be over the total amount of pennies, or total amount of coins, which is 11 plus 9, which is 20. So boom, and that's in simplified form, so we're good. Now we just need to change that into a decimal and a percentage. So just like the last problem, this is pretty easy to turn into a percentage and a decimal, because we know that we can write that as 100 on the bottom by just multiplying the bottom and the top by 5. We get 11 times 5 is 55, and we get 20 times 5, which is 100. So 55/100ths in decimal form would be like this, 55/100ths. This is the tenths, that's 100ths, that's 55/100ths. And then if you have 55 over 100, you know that when anything is over 100, that this is the percentage right there. So it's going to be 55%. So boom, there you go. So yeah, that's how that works. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next problems. Here we go. Yeah. So this says there are 6 yellow cards, and I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that this is Minecraft again, because everything in Minecraft are just cubes, whether it's cards or marbles or whatever. Okay, so these are 6 yellow cards right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have 4 blue cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 10 green cards. 10 green cards. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Maybe we'll put them over here. 9, 10. Okay. So there are 6 yellow cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 blue cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10 green cards in a bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so just imagine these are all in a bag. Okay, and a card is chosen at random. That means all of these things are mixed up, right? They're all mixed up, and we are just going to randomly choose one of these, right? So if they're all mixed up and we can't see them and they're all in a bag, what is the probability that we randomly choose a yellow? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and figure that out. So this says find the probability of each event. Write your answer as a fraction. Okay, so what is the probability that we would get a yellow card? Well, to find the probability of a yellow, I'm going to say the probability of a yellow, use a P, Y, that means probability of a yellow, is the amount of yellow cards. Well, how many yellow cards are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over the total amount of cards. And the total amount of cards can be found by just adding up these numbers right here. So 6 plus 4 is 10, plus another 10 is 20. Or you could count them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We get the same thing. Cool. So you can just add up the numbers like that, or you can physically count them. So there's the probability, 6/20 of picking a yellow. Does anybody see anything? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see anything about this lovely fraction? Yes. This can be simplified. We have to remember to simplify these. So what goes into both 6 and 20? 2. You're perfectly right. So that means this 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 20 10 times. So that means that our probability of picking a yellow will equal 3/10. Okay? Right there. Boom, shakalaka. All right, let's do the next one. What is the probability of picking a blue? So we're going to say the probability of picking a blue is, we have to put the number of blue outcomes. So there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the total, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Okay, that was really super fast counting. And we have to simplify this, right? What goes into both 4 and 20? 4 does. 4 goes into 4 one time, and 4 goes into 20 5 times. So that means the probability of picking a blue is equal to 1/5. Okay? Now it is your turn, ladies and gentlemen, to try 14 and 15. And so go ahead and pause, work out 14 and 15. When you get done, press play, and we'll go over the results. All right, we are back. Let's go ahead and find the probability of picking a green. I'm going to go ahead and pick a green pen. Probability of picking a green is taking the amount of greens there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of the total, which is 20. And then we have to reduce this. So what goes into both 10 and 20? 10 does. 10 goes into 10 one time, 10 goes into 20 two times. So the probability of picking a green is equal to 1/2, and that's in simplified form. So there you go. If you got that right, woohoo! Okay, now this one's a little different. This is picking a blue or a green. Ooh, so tricky, tricky, tricky. So what we have to do is we have to count up all of the blues and all of the greens. Okay, so I'm going to put them here. These are all the blues and all the greens. How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, yeah, there's 14 out of the total amount, which would be 20. I'm going to do blue or green, so I'm going to use a blue and a green pen. Okay? Oh, whoops. Well, it's okay. I'll just simplify the thing first. So is this simplified? No. 2 goes into both. So 2 goes into 14 7 times, and 2 goes into 20 10 times. 10 times. So we end up with the probability of picking a blue or green is equal to 7/10. And there you go. There's a blue-green box for you. That was special. This is a special problem for you. So if you got that one right, you did a great job, and we'll see you next time. Oh, you can't even see it. Oh, now you can see. Sorry about that. Okay, bye.